forgive my bun. I don't know which way it's going right there. It's kind of lopsided, but let me take this down, y'all, because I don't like how it's looking. And I'm being safe. Ooh, baby, it better not pull my edge. Ugh. I don't like how it's looking right there. It done fell a little bit. I have two of my scrunchies on, y'all. And they're small ones to keep it tighter. To keep it like in place, but it ain't work, child. Oh, hold up. I am driving, so I'm trying to pay attention, y'all. Let me go let it down, cause okay, we're gonna have to see. I have to, but throughout the day, child, I guess it did what it wanted to do. It's her. I pulled it or something. It's a little long, y'all. Not too bad though for my height. It ain't too bad for my height, but still. Okay, y'all. Anyway, I just came on here because it has been in my spirit, and I guess, well, really, it's been on my spirit for a long time. I was about to say maybe it's because I decided to go ahead and post that video of my best friend that passed. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. It is a celebration of life to her, as her birthday just passed. It was August 24th. So on last Saturday was her birthday, as well as my grandmother's birthday on my mom's side, who is also deceased. She has been deceased for I don't even know how many years now, but it was both of their birthdays, along with my godmom's birthday, who I call Granny. I call her Granny as well because she's actually been the granny that I've known the longest. We used to spend a night at her house, go to church, used to buy me church clothes, these little African attires, like suits and stuff to go to church. And so she's definitely upheld the title of grandma for me. So I also call her Granny. So all three of their birthdays, my best friend, my granny on my mom's side, and my godmom's mom, all their birthdays are on August 24th. So I went ahead and posted that video in memory of her, and then I left a little fun fact at the end. So if you watch it all the way through, then you shall see. But yes, y'all, so I don't know if it's that. I was actually about to say that it was that, but this has been on my mind for about 2 months, to be honest. To be quite honest with y'all, this topic has been on my mind for about 2 months. And for me, I don't know all the details of two individuals, two young ladies who were best friends, and they actually had my apologies, y'all. They actually had a podcast together, and they have since went their separate ways and are now apart. So they both have, each of them have a podcast still, but with different people. One of them, she's by herself and she just invites people on. The other one, she has partnered with another female, and that's who she does the podcast with. But it's something in my spirit, and that's what has made me come on here to talk about this particular subject, because I don't know, it's just something that didn't settle in my spirit. And I could be wrong, but even if I'm wrong, I could be right. So when you think about it, I'm really not wrong either way. Y'all ever seen that movie, Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent movie with Terrence Howard? That's where I got that from.
There you go, you still at it, man. Still fidgeting. I don't like people moving behind me, sitting behind me and shit. You gonna sit back there, you gotta sit the fuck still. I don't like that shit.
This motherfucker's crazy, man.
Hey, I just want to talk to him. What? I just want to have a word with him.
Talk to him, Walk.
No, why is he moving around in my back seat? It's like, man, the motherfucker fidgeting in your car. You shoot first and you ask questions later.
Shoot?
You shoot first and you ask questions later.
You just met him.
Fidgeting, man. I'm right about him. I'm always right. It's like when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I could have been right. So I'm still right because I could have been wrong.
That makes sense. Come on. Say that again.
He has something. He was on to something when he said that. If y'all remember that clip, if y'all seen the movie, he was on to something. I understand him completely. I understand him completely. So I say that to say, going back, I may not be right, but I may not be wrong. I may not be all the way right, but I may not be all the way wrong. So going back to the ladies, I feel like this is just my spiritual perception. I feel like this. Actually, I'm just going to make this a general PSA. Pulling from their situation. My perception of what may have went down just based on who the individuals are separately as whole beings. Who this individual was and who this individual was. How they are, how I see them operate. It seems to me as though one of the girls couldn't handle being held accountable for their actions. Now, there may be other nits and gnats that go into it. Like I said, I don't know all the pieces of the puzzle, but just spiritually, my spirit is telling me that one of them couldn't handle being held accountable. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you have stopped talking to a friend because they held you accountable for your ignorance, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You need to pick up that phone, text, call, whatever you need to do, and apologize and try to rekindle and reconnect with your friend. Because a good friend, which in this crazy mother freaking world as of today that we live in, a good freaking friend, a loyal freaking friend, is extremely hard to find. Extremely hard to find. And I can tell you that from experience, from personal experience. I done got to the point where I done had my best friend. She's gone off to glory now. Her job was well done. Job was complete on this earth. She did what God placed her on this earth to do, and now she is gone to be with him. And I've been able to witness such a tremendous person, such a true, genuine friendship, sisterhood, a great bond. I don't even want to, I'm not even in search of that anymore, because I know it's impossible to really find in this society, in this world. I believe it's very impossible to find. I just hold on to the memories, the ones that I have with her, the ones that I made with her, and I cherish them for a lifetime, like I said in that video to her. And that's that. I've been grateful and fortunate to be able to have experienced something that people really don't get to experience in this lifetime. So I'm super grateful and thankful forever. So again, I don't even go searching for a friendship anymore because it's that rare. I don't even care to have another friendship like that because I don't know. I just feel like it's impossible to have or to have come to me. I do have one good friend who still resides in Georgia, and I've known her since college. And so we're still cool and we still keep up to date with each other. But a true, genuine sisterhood, I've experienced that. And one thing we both did was hold each other accountable. That's what made our relationship strong. That's what made our sisterhood and our bond strong. That's what made it strong, because we held each other accountable. If I was blowing things out of proportion, she'd be like, Jazz, girl, get over yourself. Literally, just like that, girl, get over yourself. You need to work on this. You need to practice getting better in this area. She would check me on it and I would check her. I was like, girl, you need to know, I don't appreciate that you did A, B, C, and that should never happen again. But once we checked each other on it, we adhered to it. And we kept it moving. We didn't take anything that one another said for granted. And again, that's how we were able to have the sisterhood that we had. And if you had that sisterhood and you let it go over something as simple as being held accountable, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you need time to grow. You need time to grow up. You need time to heal, because it seems like that is more to it than just what the eye meets. You know, if you lose a friendship because somebody's holding you accountable, that means you have deep-rooted issues that you thought you have been delivered from and that you thought you have grown out of, but really you haven't. You're still harboring onto something which is spiraling and pouring into your friendships or any other type of relationship that you may have with somebody. So, tell you now, if you lost a friend, a good friend, because of yourself, because of your own ignorance, pick up that phone, admit that you were wrong, and call it a day. Because that's the thing, nobody wants to be held accountable. Nobody wants to be held accountable for real. And that's your problem. That is your problem. You want to be able to say you worship God, but then you're cursing on your podcast. You want to be able to say you're worshiping God, but then you're twerking in the club. You want to be able to say you're worshiping God, but you're sleeping with married men and married women. You want to say that you worship God, but you're sitting up here getting drunk as a skunk all on people's tables, or throwing up, or somebody got to carry you out the club. And you don't want nobody to check you and correct you. The moment that they do, they're being judgmental. And you don't want to have anything to do with them. You write them off. Like a stranger on the street. You just write them off. And say, to hell with you. But that's not a them problem. That's a you problem. That's what that is. That's a you problem. And you need to work on yourself. And to be quite honest, just to be really transparent with y'all, even my best friend that passed, her and I, we did not talk for a year. We did not talk for a year. Fun fact. Because I held her accountable for something that she did to me. That's so crazy. I've never told anyone that. Only my mom knows. So, my mama and my daddy knew about the situation, but it wasn't something that made us to like, it wasn't, our friendship wasn't salvageable. It wasn't anything to that degree. But as for me, I was like, no, you will not do this to me. Because I told y'all think it's a game. I don't play with nobody. My actions speak louder than my words. And I can show you better that I can tell you that you're not going to play with me. Like that. So we didn't talk for a year. The year that she passed was actually the year that we started back talking. That's just how God works. The year that she passed was the year that her and I had actually just started back talking. Not many people knew that, because it's not something, our friendship, when I am no longer friends with anybody, it's not something that I go and blast on the internet, because it's not, that's not my purpose. That's not my intention behind anything. That's what you call a fake friend. That's what you call someone who is disloyal. I don't go blast anything. I don't talk about anything. I don't discuss anything. If I see somebody out and about and they ask me about her, then I would tell them very briefly, oh, we're no longer speaking. I don't go into great detail about what happened or anything like that. I just said, oh, we're no longer speaking. I wish her well. Like, something was done that I didn't agree with. And I let her know. I checked her on that. And that was it. But you know what? In that year span that we didn't talk, she grew and I grew. And then, as the Lord would have it, when I was working at Target, here she go walking down the aisle. And I said, I know that walk. She's just walking because she had a particular walk. And I used to make fun of her all the time about it. When we were at work, I was like, you just walk so freely. Like, the way that you walk, your entire aura, her entire aura, it would just be like, God got me. I ain't worried about this world. Like, she always carried herself like that. She had this certain walk, and it was just like she was walking on clouds, like, just moseying through life with no worries, no care in the world, no fear. And so I used to tease her about it all the time, because I'm like, oh, girl, I wish I could have that walk. But we were the complete opposite in that. She used to even send me articles because I had really bad anxiety, which every now and then still tries to sneak up. And then I just continuously pray it away in my head. She used to send me articles about anxiety and send me this and how to calm down. and how it's all in the mind, and how certain things that I can read to see how to channel that anxiety, how to get rid of it each day, like what's something I could work on. So we were the complete opposite in that area, in those departments. But yeah, so I saw her walking in Target, and like I said, a year had gone by. I had forgiven everything or whatever. It was already forgiven, but I just told her at that point in my life, as I was already healing from other people, other females who tried to make me feel a certain way in order to make themselves feel better. I just didn't want to be in her space, and I think she needed space and I needed space apart, because that just wasn't cool with the circumstance that had happened or transpired. I was like, it's not okay. And then you wonder why I say what I say and why I say I don't have female friends. This is why. So we went our separate parts. Then when she came to Target, as I was actually an employee for Target, it was nothing but God, because God already knew what he had planned ahead of us, which was only some months in of us back talking. That's when she passed. So, you know, he set up the whole thing, was ordained by him, and he knew that I would have been just extremely crushed had we not rekindled or reconnected that friendship. So he gave me my time with her, and the time that I had with her after that year that we spent apart or whatever, and we were reconnected in Target or whatever. I mean, as soon as I saw her in Target, that next day we were back hanging out like nothing ever happened. And she had apologized. She apologized before we even went our separate ways. She apologized for what she did, because seeing it from my perspective, she knew it was wrong. She knew it was wrong. And she was like, oh, you know, and I don't use, you know, certain things you can't use as excuses with me as to why you did what you did, or I drank too much, or I had too much to smoke, or this and that, which she didn't smoke, but it was just other stuff. So I held her accountable. Again, I say all that to say I held her accountable. But again, when we met in Target, we connected that next day, and we were back hanging out like we never stopped. Charlie's Angels all over again. Me and her connected, and then her and Charlie connected. Me and Charlie were always still like this, but he would end up have to split between us. He would go hang out with her and go hang out with me. I know we made it tough for him, but that's why I rock with him to this day, because I'm like, Charlie, you my mother freaking dog, you made it work, you made it happen, and you didn't betray me, and you didn't betray her, and I didn't expect you to. You know, I didn't expect you to. I wouldn't have even wanted him to do that. So it was cool. We made it happen. But then we were all able to come back together as one unity of Charlie's Angels. So yeah, but I held her accountable, and she would always hold me accountable. And sometimes you do have to take breaks, a year-long worth of break from that friendship, in order to work on yourself and allow that person to work on themselves, and then God will make a way to where he brings you all back together. But if you can do it before he does it, that's even better. But I always say, pray to God. Make sure that's something that he wants you to do. You have to feel it in your spirit. You cannot force anything. Anytime you try to force something, it will not work. It will not work. So even me putting this video, that don't mean you got to go and call somebody right now. Do it when you are ready, but don't wait too late. Don't wait too late, because tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. God did me a big solid favor when he brought her back into my life, when he brought me back into her life. And literally, I tell you, when we met, she automatically told me, girl, I plan on going into Jamaica for my birthday. And I said, okay, well, let me know the plans. That's just how close we were before we went our separate ways for that 1 year. That's just how close we were. Like when we reconnected that same day in Target, that first day that we saw each other after 1 year, she was like, oh, girl, I'm planning on going to Jamaica for my birthday. And I said, because I asked her, I said, she was talking about her birthday or whatever. And I said, oh, what are you planning on doing for your birthday? And she's like, oh, I plan on going to Jamaica. And I said, that sounds fun. She's like, yeah, I'll let you know the details. Period. And then the following week, she started texting us in the group chat. This is what I want y'all to wear. This is what I want y'all to do. This is how much money I need for the Airbnb. This is how much we need to be able to do our activities. This is how much I need for this. We're going to save and put aside for the it was like the housekeeper, but she also cooked and stuff like that, like the chef or whatever. She's like, we're going to put enough for this so we can make sure we tip them, yada, yada, yada. She had everything lined out, everything in order, everything organized. And I was a part of that. She included me just like that off the bat. She didn't have to do that, but it was God already knowing his plans for her and for me and for us and for all of the other 7 girls that were on that trip with us. So it was 7, 8, 9 of us, or 10, 9 of us, I think. Yeah. So all of us, he already knew his plans for her. So he made it happen to where everybody that needed to be on that trip was there, including me. And it was so crazy because my folks was like, no, you are saving your money. You don't need to go on this trip. You don't need to go. And I said, to heck with what they tell me to do. I'm sorry. I have to go against y'all on this one. I am going on that trip. And I almost let them get to me. Sorry, not God. I almost let them get to me. But my spirit, I'm telling you, my spirit going to always lead me straight. Is going to be direct with me. My spirit, something in me was just like, I have to go on this trip. And the very moment I was about to text her and tell her I'm not coming, because I had let them get in my ear. That's why I say you can have people in your ear all day long, but at the end of the day, you have to trust your spirit. You have to trust what Christ is telling you to do. Trust what Christ is telling you to do, not the flesh. The spirit is not equivalent to your flesh. No. Don't ever get that misconstrued. Don't misinterpret my message. The spirit is not equivalent to your flesh. I am talking about true spirit, and you will feel it in the pits of your stomach, in your guts, in your soul. You will feel the right thing to do. And that's how I felt going on this trip. I was just like, they were talking. I almost texted her. I was like, I was about to say, I'm not going to be able to go. And I just deleted the text message, and I booked my flight. Right after I deleted the text message. I booked my flight, and I said, to heck with what they are telling me to do. I have to go on this trip. And only the Lord knew. Only the Lord knew. Then I went on that trip and came back. And then the week after we came back is when she passed, right after her 30th birthday. And here go my parents. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you went on. Because had it been for y'all, I would have been upset to the highest power, upset to the highest level. But my spirit guided me and told me what to do. So, saying that to say, let your spirit lead you with your decision making and your timing. Definitely pray on it, meditate on it, ponder on it, process it, marinate on it. But honey, let me tell you, don't wait too late. If you gotta fast and pray for a week straight, 3 weeks straight, 2 weeks straight, a whole month straight for this one thing to kind of pick up the pace on it, do that. Because don't let time steady fly by, because it's never promised. Extra time and tomorrow is never promised. So again, I repeat, as I summarize and get ready to end this video, if you have walked away from a friend because they held you accountable, stop yourself, pinch yourself, wake up, grow up, reach out to that person, apologize to that person and yourself, because you're doing yourself a big disservice. You're not honoring yourself. You aren't being true to thyself, because people who are true to thine own self understand their own ignorance and correct it immediately before they lose something great. Whether it's a relationship with your significant other, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship with a parent, whether it's a relationship with a sibling, whether it's a relationship with a cousin, an aunt, a granny, a grandpa, an uncle, whatever the case may be. If you are not talking to someone because they simply held you accountable for your wrongdoings and your actions, and you took that and jumped on the judgmental, you're being judgmental to me bandwagon because you didn't want to own up to your own foolishness, pick up that phone, call or text. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail. Because the problem is you, not them. hold people accountable. And you have to be able to accept being held accountable. Take accountability for your foolishness, your foolish ways, your childish ways, your irresponsibility in certain situations, in certain atmospheres and environments. Take accountability because you know better, and the person that's trying to get you to know that you know better and to see that you know better, because you do, they're not to blame. It is self. All right? All right. So I hope this helps someone today. And yeah, until next time, bye y'all. Talk to y'all later. Peace.